Hi, and welcome to another Weird News Report. It's so exciting. I have lots of weird news to share with you today, so we better get started. And what better place to start than the Tour de France, which apparently is a very important cycling race that is happened recently. I'm not sure if it's still happening or if it's finished already. But anyways, there was an incident a few days ago where a spectator was holding a sign, and without they were facing away from the cyclists because they wanted to get their sign pointed at a TV camera. Well, the spectator didn't realize that their sign was actually in the road, like in the path of the cyclists. Tony Martin, right? The German writer Tony Martin, who is riding at like the front of the pack, hit this sign, lost his balance, and then caused like a domino effect of racers, everybody falling over each other. And just a massive crash that resulted in, like, probably dozens of people on the ground, a whole bunch of people hurt, and many chances of winning the Tour de France ruined because of this woman holding this sign that wasn't paying attention to the cyclists. The sign that this woman was holding said. Apparently translates to "Go Grandpa Grandma" or something like that, which is a dumb sign to hold up, I think. It's kind of weird though that there aren't any like barricades right between the spectators and the cyclists. Well, I heard it's because the Tour de France is so long that it would just be like impractical, or at least it'd be very hard to try to have barricades over the entire thing, because it's like. I think it's like hundreds of kilometers long, right? So it'd just be very hard to have barricades over the entire thing. And apparently the woman had faced up to 2 years in prison and a fine of $35,000. Although that has been dropped, I think. The Tour de France dropped their lawsuit against the spectator who caused this crash. Very, very unfortunate situation, I would say. All caused by this woman who just wasn't paying attention, who was more focused on getting her sign on TV than the race. Very, very sad story, I guess, because of the so many athletes, that trains for so many years, and then it's ruined by this sign-holding woman. Very sad. Let's move on to our next story, which is about a UFO report that was released by the U.S. government, which the report says is on 143 reports of identified aerial phenomena. That's what they're calling it now, because UFOs are so associated with aliens that they want to change it up, I guess. UAP, they're calling it. Unidentified aerial phenomena. 143 reports since 2004 that cannot be explained. Some of these incidences could not be like we're flying in very strange ways. Like I'll read you this in 18 incidences, right? Described in 21 reports. I'll read you what the report says. Some unidentified aerial phenomena appeared to remain stationary in winds aloft, move against the wind, maneuver abruptly, or move at considerable speed without discernible means of propulsion. So essentially, like some of these unidentified aerial phenomena are moving in ways that should require propulsion, even though there isn't any obvious propulsion. Like, they're just moving in ways that are not understood. This doesn't confirm aliens, but it doesn't deny it either, does it? It's probably not aliens, though. Why would aliens travel like presumably a very long distance to visit us, just to like spy on us, right? Just to zip around the atmosphere in their spaceships. It seems like a very like strange thing to do. Like, could you imagine if? Okay, just imagine that humans find aliens, go to their planet, and just like spy on them. That would be weird. This is what I'm trying to say. It'd be weird. It's probably just like a frickin' weather balloon or something. So many weather balloons, you know. No. It probably all makes sense, right? There's probably a rational explanation. Although I don't know what that is, and I don't think anybody else knows what that is either. Still, pretty cool. Let's move on to our next weird news story. Birds are not real. Rolling rally makes first stop in Missouri. This was from a while ago. Yeah, this was from like a week ago. So I don't know what they're at, where they're at right now. But the birds aren't real movement, who are convinced that all birds in the United States were killed by the government and replaced by federal drones. They think that the birds charge by sitting on the power lines, which I don't think that's how it works. I don't think sitting on a power line. Well, maybe it's special technology. Right. Okay. Sorry. And that the bird poop on cars is a liquid tracking apparatus. I don't really understand how that works. Seems like a waste of time, because surely people are just going to wash their cars if there's bird poop on it, right? Surely there could be like another thing, another way to track people that's not bird poop. I should say that this movement is like facetious, right? Or like people don't actually believe this. They're poking fun at conspiracy theorists. That's kind of funny though. Are birds real? Seems like a very inefficient way of spying on people, because you always see birds just in the middle of nowhere. Before I confuse myself further, let's just go on to the next story. Australian woman who woke up from surgery with Irish accent may be stuck with it for life. Yeah, so there's an Australian woman named Angie Yen who lives in Brisbane, Queensland. She's never been to Ireland, but recently she had her tonsils removed. And 9 days later, she woke up with a accent. With an Irish-sounding accent, right? Although this woman has said that her singing voice has improved. She can now hit notes that she was unable to hit before. And this phenomena, right, of this woman's voice changing, this is an example of a medical syndrome called foreign accent syndrome, which is a rare medical condition that is usually triggered by neurological or physiological damage. A lot of times this happens after surgery, where you just wake up and the patient has another accent. And it's like involuntary, right? They just speak with that accent, and I think it's pretty hard to if they want to get back their original accent, they have to like retrain themselves to talk how they wanted talked previously, if they want to talk how they wanted to talk previously. The funny thing I read is that a a lot of times the accents aren't very good. Like in the case of this woman, I don't know how good her accent is, but I would imagine that a person from Ireland might recognize that it's not from Ireland. That's what I'm speculating. I'm not sure if that's true. It might be a really good Irish accent, but she described it as very, very hard to try to talk in her original accent. She described it like the harder you. She described it like a rubber band, right? Like the more she tries to resist it, the more like resistance her voice like pulls back to the Irish accent. I don't know. It's very strange. Very strange story, and I guess sad. Okay, let's move on to our next story. Couple handcuffed together for 123 days immediately break up. So there was a couple, and their relationship was a bit on the rocks, right? So they decided to do something to try to save their relationship. They decided to handcuff themselves together for 123 days nonstop. There wasn't a moment where they weren't handcuffed. So using the bathroom, they were both handcuffed, and showering, they were both handcuffed. And going to work, they were both handcuffed. Now the woman whose name was this happened in Ukraine, so their names are a bit hard to pronounce. The woman's name was Victoria Pustavitova. Pustavitova. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make fun of this woman's name. But the woman, she worked as a eyelash technician, I guess that's a thing. Apparently customers were uncomfortable with with her boyfriend being, attached and just like attached to her and just hovering over them. Yeah, so she had to quit her job because the customers were beauty patients were uncomfortable with this guy, Alexander Kudly, being attached to the woman. This did not save their relationship. I'll just cut to the chase. Apparently they had like really long arguments and would like ignore each other while they were handcuffed, and apparently they just had an absolutely miserable time together. So after 123 days, which was, I believe, the world record for the longest time a couple's been handcuffed together. So at least they have that. They have a world record. But as soon as the handcuffs came off, they split apart and now live in distant regions of Ukraine. I believe Victoria. No. Alexander just said we're just not on the same wavelengths, and I guess I understand that. I think at the end they said the couple recommended that people don't try this if they want to save their relationship. They said, I think it will be a good lesson for us, for other Ukrainian couples and couples abroad, not to repeat what we've done. Apparently, handcuffing yourself to your significant other to save your relationship is not a good way to save that relationship. Who would have thought? Let's move on to our next story, which is about a woman from St. Petersburg, Florida, who crashed into a Taco Bell sign and then proceeded to run 2 red lights before being arrested by police officers. Apparently, when she was arrested, she appeared to be drunk. She refused to provide breath samples, but she was had signs of being drunk. Like she had bloodshot, watery eyes, and it smelled like there was alcohol in her breath. So she was arrested and charged with a DUI. The thing about this that makes it weird, her name Kanisha Booze. Her last name is Booze, and she got arrested for drunk driving. That's okay. That seems very strange, right? That's either a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Where like, oh, my name is Booze. Well, I guess I'm cursed, right? To eventually have this happen. It seems like that would be the case, right? Maybe not. That actually seems like a weird thing to say. Otherwise, it seems like that's the exact thing you don't want to do, is drive drunk, because then you get news articles written about you, right? Wow, this woman is crazy. Okay, let's just move on to our next story, which is about an Elon Musk statue, a bronze Elon Musk statue that was unveiled in downtown Manhattan. I'll just show you the picture. Here it is. It kind of doesn't really look like Elon Musk, in my opinion. It's also a very strange pose. Like, what is this? Yeah, and apparently a lot of other people are mocking this statue. They say it looks like Gerald Ford, which, you know what? It kind of does look more like Gerald Ford than Elon Musk. Whatever. And also a lot of people on Twitter were like joking about defacing the statue, which is like, yeah, why does Elon Musk really need a statue attributed to him? Like, has he really contributed that much that it warrants a statue? Gerald Ford more warrants a statue than Elon Musk, so maybe it's a good thing. All right, let's go on to our next and final story, which is about a man who broke the M&M stacking world record. He stacked the most M&Ms on top of each other. Quite the accomplishment. So how many M&Ms did he manage to stack? 5. He stacked 5 M&Ms, and that was the world record. And he is saying that, like, it doesn't sound impressive, but try it. Try it. Just try to do it, and you'll see how hard it is. Apparently, it took him several hours to try to do this. That's kind of funny. 5 M&Ms. You would think it would be a lot more, but I guess M&Ms I wouldn't describe as the most stackable of candies, right? But good for this guy, right? Now that he's a world record holder of M&M related world records. Wow. I guess that's all the weird news that I have. Well, thanks for watching, I guess. The endings are always weird. I gotta come up with a good ending. And that's the weird news for this week. Okay, that's fine.